You're in the finance sector, a sector that thrives on movement, on mobility, on commerce, a sector that drives the economy. How have you adjusted to life in the pandemic?
First, I want to correct one impression. If we cast our minds back, there is this book called The Black Swan. The Black Swan is a book that took risk analysis to the highest level that you do that. Indeed, there's always one thing that will happen which nobody ever thought about. And when it does happen, people will behave in manners that nobody will think they can be able to react in that particular manner. And this is the same thing with the pandemic. It came as a joke. It came as theories that all of us thought were outlandish. Suddenly, it's reality. Leadership, all leadership, not one, all leadership was caught napping. Nobody had a clear picture of how to lead. But in all uncharted paths, the courageous, the bold, just head up, knowing that some way, somehow, we have to lead, irrespective of the imperfect information we have. And this was an imperfect information. Yes, it's for us bankers or those of us in the financial institutions, we very much believed that as long as human beings will eat, as long as people will pay their bills, as long as people will use items, be it items that has to do with the pandemic or with their personal lives, money must remain. So the next issue is, if we can't move together, how then does money move? Either money moves more by electronic means. Strangely, digital currencies have been moving, not Bitcoin now, digital currencies, because when you transfer money from your account to another person's account, the money moves digitally, not physically. Yeah. So digital currencies have been moving, and fortunately, the pandemic didn't affect digital currency. It affected those that will cause the digital currency to move, but doesn't affect the digital currency. And so yes, commerce still continue, but in a different fashion. Those who are causing it to move in a much more different fashion. They are unable to sit together to make decisions. Initially, the phone calls, the WhatsApp messages were okay, because that's where people also send emails to get the account officers or their relationship managers to move money. So that still continued. But then, here we are, we needed some level of cash economy. That whole cash economy almost fizzled away, because it is a touch and feel of the macroeconomics. The touch and feel of macroeconomics in the physical currencies we exchange hands with. And people were like, how can we feel the economy? How do I feel the economy without feeling the economy? Yeah. That became the new number. And those at the bottom of the pyramid were the worst hit, because they are the ones that really make us feel the economy. Those are the people, when you're going to see a friend, you touch a driver, you touch a security officer, you touch a cleaner, a staff. They feel the impulse of the economy by that. And when we can't feel them anymore, we go back into what I call loneliness of ourselves. In fact, the pandemic was more of a lesson in loneliness. All the technology we drive at, we've been doing them. We've been doing digital conferencing. So it's not new to us. When we say it's a new normal, to me, I don't think it was actually new. We have just come to the conferences. Most of us had systems where we stay in our head office and we talk to all our branches. We stay in our office and we talk to our English subordinate 3 floors down, because we have phones that had cameras. So we were almost used to that, at least in the advanced financial setting. But those that wanted to fill the import, which is the lower trend, we were trying to bring into what we call the financial inclusion base. Those are the ones that really were worst hit. But we then realized that there was a nexus between themselves and us. In their absence, we became very lonely. Yeah. They made us what we think we are. When we went to the office, everybody say, "Good morning, sir. Welcome, sir. How are you, sir?" We didn't realize the import of that interaction until the pandemic hit. And then we saw that interaction and we said, "Wow, am I this lonely?" We became as ordinary as the next man, next door, next week. I think for me, it's leadership in the space of almost loneliness, and then people quickly, like a drowning man, try to grab every kind of strand of hope, every kind of straw you can find to quickly get it together because I need to be important again.
Exactly. Very, very interesting point you raised, and there's something I picked up, the loneliness part.
Yes.
And also that dovetails into leadership itself.
Yes.
You know, we're used to the other ingredients of leadership, of sight, of visibility, of feel and touch. You know, you want to be felt. Your imposing personality, even as a leader, the way you dress, and suddenly somebody perhaps has to just rely on your voice or on your email. So it took away an important part, like we once had when the word body language, or the first body language was quite popular at some point. You sort of lost that body language part of you as a leader. Some elements of it, there are some that can be transmitted digitally, but there are some aspects of body language that is reflected in your persona, in the way you dress, in the way you talk, in the way you walk, in the way you lead. How do you adjust? And how, as a leader, because these are not things you perhaps started the years thinking you are going to be faced with a time when you don't perhaps see your personal assistant for 2 weeks, 3 weeks, and you just talk on the phone.
Now, ask me, are you saying that leadership is a function of how I dress? No, I'm just throwing this very question now. Leadership, how I dress, how I feel, how I carry myself, how I comb my hair, how I wear my bed. This pandemic taught us leadership is none of that. This pandemic brought us the realization that it is not about whether I wear the best suits, whether I wear my hair short, whether I have a clean shave. Leadership is almost intangible. This pandemic gave that clear indication. And those who are absent in the intangible nature, we are assumed not to be leaders. It is not about whether. This is what I was trying to point when I said we became what we thought we were because those people made us feel we were important. We were relying on the importance rather than relying on our ability to better them. So we properly settled in our own importance and forgot leadership. And we are dressing, we are speaking, we are doing to impress them. Now it became upside down. You don't need to see me to do good. You don't need to see me to be who you ought to be. I don't have to be all well dressed up to give directions that are led by thoughts, led by proper thoughts, directions that will affect people's life without me having somebody give me a praise sing, a praise music without first sometimes brushing the idea through somebody or socializing my idea. And it has to be original and genuine. So honestly, for me, I do not see that as a minus. I thought that brought to the fore the most important aspect of leadership, which we keep talking about: emotional intelligence. It's not a new field. It is not. And people need to understand this is not a new IQ, an intelligence coefficient thing. No, it is actually that humanity with which you need to lead. The humanness of yourself that you need to lead you first, then lead others. If I can lead myself to be safe, I cannot lead others to be safe. If I can't lead myself to be safe, it will be difficult to lead others to be safe. If I am irresponsible in my behavior, in my personal behavior, I will transcend that into the greater populace and organization. This is what that does. And if then I do not have empathy, when somebody is dying, somebody is contracting that disease, would I want to create a situation of segregation or try to embrace the person and empathize the person through the process? I had two cases in organization. The chief information officer and his deputy both contracted the virus. Unfortunately, we lost the chief information officer.
Wow.
I was forced to think immediately of the deputy. The deputy will say, if my boss just died from what I'm going through, I might have no hope. So I quickly had to start selling hope on a daily basis. Morning, afternoon, evening. I will pick up the phone and I'll talk to him. I will pray with him. I will speak to him. I'll speak to his wife. I'll say, you go through it, you'll be fine. You stay strong. It takes courage to come through this. Don't be afraid. The medical officials are going to do a good job. They will see you through. Note that the CIA had an underlying condition from what we had. So, but what was I selling? I was selling hope to him. I was empathizing with him. I was making realize that he's not alone in his loneliness. Because he was in an isolation center. He's had the news that his colleague had passed. So, not only does his life matter, his psychological well-being matters. I also thought about the organization I'm leading. If I lost my first and second people in my information units, imagine the effect on the organization. So while I am selling hope, on the reverse, I was also making sure that my organization survives. Because we are going into technology era, where technology will play about the highest roles in trying to keep our system steady. And I've just lost the head of that unit. So a lot of things come to play. I don't need to be on a video conference call to solve that problem. But then I need to give the leadership. That leadership is not whether I wear a t-shirt. On my sick bed, on my bed, sleeping in the sitting room, wherever I am. This is not a video conference call. It's just on the phone, speaking hope, courage. And to a point I asked him, can you run this division for me? Now, you might say, why are you going to ask the sick man, can you run a division for you? It means that they need to sell him something to look forward to. Now, that leadership, to sell hope, courage, and expectation to somebody was key. It stems from the fundamentals of emotional intelligence. I was trying to build him. I was trying to make him realize that there's something he can look forward to if he gets the courage to fight the virus. And most times, from what medical professionals have said, if somebody has the willpower to fight, it gives you chance to survive. So yes, the nation needs to survive. So we are all in the same circle. So he survives, Monroe survives, I give direction, and it's continuing. And from my conversations with him, it gave me more input as to what others will probably be going through. And so the instructions I sent to our business continuity committee became one of what you need to say to the people who are infected, how you communicate to them. I begin to talk to business leaders. You call your next subordinate. Let them call your next subordinate. Let them call them. Let there be a conversation along the line. So immediately I did that with one client, one staff. It gave me an idea of how to send information down to the whole organization. I call my immediate subordinates, they call the next group. So everybody that has a unit must call everybody in this unit. But it has come from me down to everybody. But now, what was the story? You need to know, are you well? Are you safe? Is your family safe? Is your family well? We're not asking for the job. Suddenly, you had a bond of an organization. And I want to know every person that have contacted the disease. And I want to be able to either speak to the person or my misbody speak to the person directly. So there are no more statistics. And I say to my staff, these numbers we see on television are not statistics. They are human beings, they are people, they have their families. So imagine one person, if it's a man, his wife, his children. If it's a woman, her husband, her children. If it's a child, his mother, his father. These are the connections. And that shift from dry, hard, cold management into an emotion-based management tells the picture. And I can tell you that the results of which we saw by November, even our financials.
And that brings me to one point. Banks posted profits.
Yes, they do.
And back to where you're coming from, emotional intelligence, empathy, very good points to note from a leadership point of view. There are people might dismiss this that, oh, well, your staff, you should have done that. But I have read and I know about companies that fired people within the period, including maybe people who had the virus. I know companies who slashed salaries even when they didn't have to. The figures were still in their favor. So these things might sound light, it might sound like, oh yeah, it's easy to do. But that must have been a very brave decision. And not for you who is aware of it, perhaps not brave, it's normal. But not everybody knows that these things are normal.
Nothing was normal. And I need to state this, nothing was normal. Nobody knew what to do. In fact, we all don't know what to do. An organization tried to fire people. It's a natural reaction of survival. No, this is going to cause us all to drown, shed weight. It was a natural instinct, natural phenomenon, a natural process of thought. And suddenly you realize, if I don't shed weight, I may die. And so you took the decision to shed weight. I was part of the process. And I had to call my team and explain to them, guys, let's not fire anybody, but let's cut salaries. I had a long conversation with almost half of my management team that were able to get onto a conference call. And and we agreed to cut salary for a number of months. Then the first month passed. I said, guys, do you really need to cut salaries? And we reversed ourselves in the process. By the second month, we then reversed ourselves. But I have quickly gone to the board to get approval to start salary. Including mine, of course, which is, of course, the highest. And I had to go back to the board to say, you know what? I think we did the wrong thing. This is part of leadership. I think the decision was hasty, was wrong, and what we are seeing, we can manage it, and we should go back to the normal salaries. Now, because it was a bad decision, now to cut salary, we need to go back to the board to reverse. So what did I do? I reversed for the staff, but I can't reverse one because now I can't reverse myself. I then had to go back to the board to say, these ones I have reversed, I need ratification to continue. While now reverse mine. Okay? But don't think that anybody rushed into sacking or staff or cutting salary knew what he was doing or don't know what he was doing. It was a rational initial thought. When I mean rational, it was the first survival instinct. You have to survive. But again, it became the issue of if a mother found herself and her baby in the water, if she carries the baby, not both of them will drown. If she lets the baby go, she will survive. If she does, somebody will pick up the baby. So now, what's the best decision to take in that position? It is not rational. The mother's behavior may not be rational. You might see the mother actually trying to swim without baby, even when she doesn't know how to swim. And I've heard a story, I think I read it in the book, John Maxwell's book, Calm Down, either Failing Forward, or one of these books, whereby a woman who had an accident and a car was pressing on her child. She lifted the car. Suddenly, she was able to lift the car to pull her child out, and nobody knew where the strength came from. So what? And you could have said rationally, she just go out shouting for, that's a rational reaction, right? But that was not her rational reaction. She went to the very thing that was holding down her child and fought that very thing. At that point, it isn't rational thinking. An emotion beyond her normal core steps in, and then she acted based on that emotion. So when people say there are no powers in emotion, I always say there is awesome power in emotion. Awesome. Now it's how you balance that rush, that emotional power when it comes. That's why I have emotional intelligence, I don't have emotional intelligence. It is the ability to tamper. Maybe I could add a definition to emotional intelligence. It could be the ability to tamper the power that comes with the sudden surge of emotion.
Interesting, very interesting conversation. When we started, I didn't know we would go this far. We like certificates in this country, so would you issue me a certificate of leadership? Because this was a course. So thank you very much. It's been an interesting time.
Pleasure.
Thank you.
Thank you.